Hello, Ruprecht. Come in and sit down.
Yes, master.
You're such a good little monkey.
Well trained, master.
You scrape my bunions, bring me lunch and even wipe my bottom when my colitis acts up.
All in a day's work, master.
I've decided to promote you. Your new title is Price Suppression Specialist Number 1.
Thank you, master.
As such, you need to understand why we do the things we do here.
Do you mean there's more to this than simply skinning the sheeple, master?
Yes.
So, you're not just a heartless bitch who takes joy in breaking the will of everyday folks who are simply trying to protect their wealth?
Don't get me wrong. I am just that.
I don't understand.
Then let me explain this to you, you warthog-faced buffoon.
Lay it on me, master.
Many people are now speculating upon why we do what we do here.
I thought it was at the behest of the Chinese.
That's just another internet rumor.
Oh. Then I guess it's simply trading profits for our prop desk and my fellow flying monkeys. As it is, we cannot afford to pay our bar tabs and tip our strippers without your bonus checks.
The bonuses are just large enough to keep your fellow monkeys drunk and to stop you from asking questions.
I still don't understand.
Well, listen closely as I will only explain this to you once.
I'm all ears, master.
Do you understand that the funding for the United States government is just a giant Ponzi scheme?
Of sickening magnitude, master.
In 2010 alone, the total U.S. federal deficit was $1.5 trillion.
That's a lot of zeros, master.
And did you know that about 20% of that number, or about $300 billion, was spent last year on interest payments to existing debt?
Does that mean that each and every US citizen was responsible for paying $1,000 last year simply to pay the accumulated interest?
Yes, it does. And it can only get worse from here.
How do you mean?
Currently, the average maturity of the U.S. government debt is only about 4 years. This keeps the average rate of interest on the entire debt of $14 trillion to a minimum.
Keep going. I understand so far, master. I have an MBA from NYU.
If interest rates were to suddenly rise, then the debt must be rolled over at higher rates and the interest carry cost to the U.S. government would skyrocket.
So low interest rates are important, master.
And the only reason that interest rates are so low is that the U.S. government claims in their official statistics that inflation is non-existent.
But that's not true, master. It now costs me over $60 just to fill up my BMW.
Exactly.
And my favorite Russian hooker now charges me over $100 for a simple hand job.
Precisely. Mine too.
So, how can the US government get away with claiming that inflation is non-existent?
One of the keys is keeping the price of gold in check.
I don't understand.
An MBA from NYU sure doesn't mean what it used to, but I digress. If gold were allowed to trade freely, its cost in US dollars would go through the roof.
Yes, it would. Probably to $3,000 or $4,000 per ounce.
And if gold were trading at $4,000 per ounce, would anyone really believe that inflation was non-existent?
Only Paul Krugman.
So, if it was generally accepted that inflation was actually around 10%, what would investors demand for interest on U.S. government debt?
At a minimum, 15%. Perhaps even 20%, master.
Exactly. And at 15%, the interest cost of the U.S. national debt would triple to about $900 billion per year. It becomes exponential. Soon, the largest component of the U.S. federal budget would be annual interest costs, and the entire Ponzi scheme begins to quickly unravel.
So, what you're saying is that controlling the expectation of inflation is absolutely critical for the maintenance of our entire government financial complex.
You catch on quick, my furry little friend. As long as we can suppress the price of gold, the U.S. government will continue to get away with claiming that there is no inflation, and they will be able to service the debt at unrealistically low rates. And the powers that be will be able to keep their power a little longer.
Is this why the CFTC hearings last week were such a joke, master?
Of course. Why would the powers that be deliberately handcuff us in our attempt to maintain their power? They may be dumb, but they are not stupid.
Okay, I get it. But there is one thing I don't yet understand. How can we afford to take this risk? Is not Mr. Diamond a ruthless Wall Street banker who hates to lose money?
Yes, he is. But the losses that you and your monkeys incur are minuscule compared to the enormous sums the JP Morgan makes when we borrow unlimited amounts at the discount window and use the proceeds to buy treasury notes and bonds.
So, let me attempt to sum up. Mr. Diamond can borrow billions from the Fed.
Yes.
He buys US bonds with that money and books the spread that is paid him by the US taxpayers as profits for the JP Morgan.
Yes.
He then gives us all huge bonuses which we spend on vodka and hookers.
Yes.
But also takes some of that same taxpayer money and gives it to our prop desk. We use that very same money to create paper gold and silver to sell so that we can keep the prices artificially low.
Exactly.
And the powers that be, from President Obama to the Ben Bernanke to Mr. Diamond, all continue to prosper because the Ponzi survives a bit longer.
But not indefinitely. One day this will all end and we will be forced to leave town quickly, like the douchebag president of Tunisia.
Oh my.
Or worse, you and I will get strung up in the street like Mussolini or Ceausescu.
That is a truly frightening thought, Master.
So get back to work, my little monkey. Be at your desk at 6 o'clock tonight when trading reopens on the Globex. We face a critical week ahead. That lunatic, Trud Ferguson, has predicted an end to this current correction. This is very bad news for us.
How so, Master? He's just a simpleton. He does not have an MBA from NYU.
He is a very dangerous man. His track record is excellent and his website now gets almost 25,000 hits per day. If he is correct again, I fear we will not be able to stop him. The more people he is able to enlighten, the quicker you and I will be forced to go into hiding or seek political asylum in Venezuela.
Lots of hot chicks in Venezuela for both of us, Master.
Good point, but let's try to stop him first. Sell as much paper gold as you can this week. We must break gold down through 1320. If we fail, Turd will be proven right yet again and gold will trade to 1600 by June.
As you wish, Master.
That's all for now, Ruprecht. Come back next week and we'll have another discussion.
I can't wait, Master.
One last thing, Ruprecht. When you visit Turd's site, be sure to click the ads on your way out. Maintenance of the site is taking a lot of time and effort and we should be sure to compensate him in some way.
Will do, Master.